Alright, and this problem tells us to find the average rate of change. So when you guys think of average rate of change, you can think back to an easy idea like slope, like we've just been practicing, of the function f of x equals x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus 6x. But here's something that's different. It's on an interval -1 to 2. So basically what's happening in this problem is, let's just say you have a graph, I don't know, quartic, so it's an even, it's probably going to be pointing up, something like this. And in this problem, they basically want us to evaluate in this little window from x is -1 to a +2. And let's just say my graph is from here to about here. They want to basically know what the slope is of that line. Or a fancy word is a secant line. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to evaluate, so steps. Let's evaluate this separately. What does that mean? Well, if you think about it, you basically need 2 ordered pairs, right? So we already have one of those ordered pairs, or the x values, and we just need to figure out the y values. So let's evaluate these separately. So I'm basically going to put in my x value. This is my x1. I'm going to put that into my function. So f of -1 equals -1 to the 4th power minus 3 times -1 to the 2nd power plus 6 times -1. And we can always use our graphing calculator to check our answers, right? Just doing that by hand. -1 to the 4th power is just 1. -1 squared is +1. +1 times -3 is -3. And 6 times -1 is -6. And then 1 minus 3 is -2. -2 minus 6 is -8. So here is my first order pair, -1, -8. So you can think of this as your y1 value, or something more fancy that we just copied down is kind of like f of x of 1. And then the next thing we're going to do is, well, I need that second order pair, so I'm going to now substitute it again, 2, and we're going to get an output. So we're going to put it into this function. So f of 2 equals 2 to the 4th power minus 3 to the 2 squared plus 6 times 2. Class 2 to the 4th power? 2 squared times -3 and 6 times 2. Well, I notice that these 12s, -12 and a +12 is 0, so I can just cancel those. My answer is f of 2 equals 16. So there I have my second order pair. My output is 16. My y2 value is 16, or my f of x of 2 is 16. My second step now is just to find the average rate of change. And for the average rate of change, you can just separate these. Now you can just use our slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Class, what's my y2 value? My y1 value? My x2 value? And my x1 value? -1. 16 minus a -8 becomes 24. 2 minus a negative 1 becomes, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the average rate of change is equal to 8. That is our final answer. So to review what I did, this is an interval on the x-axis from negative 1 to 2. Basically, we need to evaluate them separately, and then basically you're finding, once you have those two order pairs, then you're finding the average rate of change.